chapbook. Okay. Putting black on white. A friend of mine's a painter, and I was thinking about our different ways of approaching things. And it starts with a quote, "When the light bulb shatters, my task is to describe the dark." That's Phil Turnham, job description poets. You walk the same shore, seeking to recreate the light, the painter's task, the shifting streaks, the glow, the dance of individual colors, the golden hour visionaries can capture with paint. Your most somber pieces suggest movement, life under the brushstroke, just at the periphery. Poets tend to find more meaning in darkness in other places people fail to look. Words heavy with ink, a calligraphy often based in sorrow, tunneling into and underlines. I have some family poems. This is one I love to read. It's a really old poem, but it's fun. It's called Grandma White. Round and smooth like a marble, but with veins, it sat next to her nose for years. As kids, we tried to guess what it was, but secretly I touched it, but never did, not even accidentally. And when they cut it off or out years later, she would sit looking at us, mirroring our thoughts, and lift her hand to pass gently over the spot that was now forever empty, and would laugh and laugh, her face softer than memory will ever allow. This is a poem about my mother and my mother-in-law. Our mothers. Phyllis was spontaneous. No fooling around. She was ready anytime. Emily was more deliberate. She needed time to plan, to get things in order, to organize. There's no denying in so many ways, all these years later, we are our mother's children. Jeez.
Okay.
I have to talk about my dad, I guess. Dinner lectures. Dad lectured, a pontificator of words, of righteous opinions and insights, a walking compendium of minutiae like train schedules and routes, the keeper of funeral logs. His newspapers mined and shredded, articles and columns cataloged for redistribution in overstuffed number 10 envelopes with a dozen or more single-spaced carbon-copied missives hammered out on his old Royal typewriter. So we learned to eat quickly, avoiding questions or clarifications, and pitied the letter carriers who delivered his epistles. We answered the confused telephone calls from correspondents who could not decode or follow his thoughts, and believed they would have to nail his coffin shut to keep him from having the very last word. A few poems from Saints of Sacred Madness. The Baltimore Catechism. A worn blue cover, softened by time, pages and illustrations blurred by years of fingering. We are promised indulgences with lessons on fear and the hierarchy of sins, along with its command to look upon a crucifix every day and contemplate the nails and thorns, the bleeding wounds. Its answers were drilled into us by unsmiling arbiters in black robes and wimples, true identities as unknowable as the mysteries of this faith, demanding blind obedience and total adoration. The title poem, I got it from an exhibit I saw at the Portland Art Museum. There was a sculpture there, and I really wish I could remember who the sculptor was. But as soon as I saw it, I said, that will be a title of something. So, Saints of Sacred Madness. We are innocents, sponge-like disciples, learning by rote to fear the fires of hell and the wrath of a God who ruled the Older Testament. Every childish act as a confessable sin, the sisters' forgiveness is rare as miracles. They lingered lovingly over stories of martyrs as our role models. Sacrifices are only true penance impossible saving grace. A genius of madness disguised as piety, the residual effects have lasted decades, their promises and warnings, tug lashing and manipulations, scarring our memories and onto our souls. A lighter poem from that collection, and I don't know if this is true everywhere. It's certainly very true in Western New York. Bathtub Saints. Every Catholic family's side or backyard had a statue protected from the elements, a plaster Madonna with child, a St. Francis or Jesus. I was sent running across 4 lanes of traffic in the late spring snow, getting a new plastic Blessed Mother before Easter to replace the Virgin in the bathtub half submerged. I took a number of lessons from the Baltimore Catechism as my inspiration for these poems. And so I called them lessons. And this is lesson 17, honoring the saints. The saints were real people like ourselves. They loved God very much while they were on earth. So now they are his special friends. Every car had a St. Christopher statue protecting drivers and passengers, fellow travelers on highways. But popularity didn't save him. St. Barbara got the axe too. Doubts about her and St. George, and other martyrs more legend than proof. Their sacrifices or miracles demoted because of crowded calendars or lack of papal blessings. A clean circle where Chris once stood remained on dusty black dashboards as he was hidden in the glove box, just in case he ever did exist. The Good Samaritan. It was a story that always haunted me. And the New St. Joseph Baltimore Catechism said, the parable of the Good Samaritan was not something that really happened, but a story our Lord told us to show us how to love one another. And from the backdoor introduction to the Bible, I got another quote. No hatred is as intense as that which can be found among brothers. Samaritans and Jews were alike in so many ways, but the Jews regarded the Samaritans as ethically perverted and religiously illegitimate, and the Samaritans returned the compliment. I decided to do this one because it sounds very, very relevant. This crucial, timeless parable, the primal example of love, they taught us not just to love our parents, our siblings, our neighbors, but even strangers, was fiction, an untrue story. No answer, no lesson disappointed me more. But what about all it taught us about the wrongness of racism, about accepting those different from us, about kindness, mercy, and sympathy? There are some stories which just need to be true. The New Isaacs. I've been jaded, scarred by the news, lost faith anew. So as I sit in this sanctuary that no longer feels like a refuge, and those 2 boy children step out in their virginal cassocks, I shudder in the spaces behind my heart and eyes, wondering if the man between them approaching his altar is another Abraham, ready to sacrifice their young lives, another predator protected by his bishop, even before he raises his cup of wine to transmagnify it into blood, a grotesque ceremony held too long in secret. It's still a huge issue in Western New York. They may finally be coming to some agreement, but I'm not going to count on it. So, yes, I am. Desires. There's no mansion I want, nor many things I desire. World peace, an end to hunger, a cure for cancer and for AIDS, which reminds me, I expect no beauty titles nor international prizes for discoveries or research. But I really have no yearnings for big things or expensive toys, no lust for others' possessions, no coveting of a neighbor's spouse, no fame or glory for deeds of valor, no need for spotlights or regular applause, but I will confess a burning jealousy, a craving to the bone of this poem or that by other writers. Childhood's Kingdom. Childhood is the kingdom where no one dies. Elizabeth St. Marie, Edna St. Marie. My childhood wasn't the only time I had heroes. Mine on baseball cards and the litany of saints we learned in catechism class, a collection of athletes and martyrs with home runs and sacrifices, strikeouts and agonizing deaths. Unlike, unlike Edna, I grew up not at a table with ghosts at tea, grown-ups who cannot be tempted back to life, though I buried my own boxes of deceased goldfish. And when those baseball cards disappeared, I was red-faced because they still mattered to me. Now, too many of my heroes are publicly shamed, pilloried, and ridiculed from other class houses, their lives and finances scrutinized for scandal, my belief and hope destroyed by glee-filled supermarket tabloid headlines. I now live in a kingdom where everybody dies. So, two poems that we worked on this week and improved. Thank you, Kathy and Nancy. You have a message. People used to write letters filled with the news of our lives. Handwritten words on paper had a sense of permanence. Stamps were much cheaper then, little works of art and time. Forever stamps hide their increasing price. But is it worth the cost? Anyway, most mail is junk now. Phone calls were precious, rarely private from lurking, impatient siblings. Cell phones have solved that, though on the street you can't tell if someone is listening or crazy. Emails are a bit like old-fashioned letters, but meant to be read on screen. Email chains can drive one crazy, bearing the original tint. Texts are quicker, easier, though they lose the tone and require an immediate response. Emojis are the new language. How much does a message weigh when it is sent into the air, into the cloud we cannot see? Leslie's heard this poem. I kind of surprised him and Wendy by revealing a part of myself they did not know. Pool shark. The only high school math class I did okay in was geometry, which I can credit for my hours shooting pool, the caroms, the nudge of ball into pocket, avoiding a scratch. I had my own cue at 10, played a couple evenings each week at Dad's KFC basement, but never bingo night. He challenged Rick to play me, 8-ball, and finally Rick agreed. He was an adult, a sharpshooter. I beat him 2 out of 3. I could only get a Coke at the bar. And after that, I never got challenged there again. In grad school, Pat and I would shoot a few rounds in the rec. We never kept score. Our games would involve mastering our strokes, the English we could put on the ball. My cue disappeared for a while, lost in my mother-in-law's basement table. Now it's in my garage gathering dust, like all my math skills. Two more. Homestead. The purple rug is gone, like so many things that get worn and tired or lost in moving. We were so young, love in its infancy with promises and dreams, believing in the rightness of us, in the knowledge that how we live matters, as well as where. A rightness time has tested for decades now, as we continue weaving together our place called home. And finally, a poem for my partner here. Secure and comfortable in this mountain bubble of poets, now friends, spending days in inspiration, evenings bathed in images, nights in laughter. Every morning, my arms search for you. Thank you.
Joyce, she wants to know if the Bills won.
I have no idea. It's a preseason game. I don't care.
Okay.
I didn't even know they played today.
Yeah, it's preseason and I was too busy revising and
Yeah.
selecting and
Yeah.
finally taking a shower and things like that.
That makes me worried about you.
Why? Why? I never
Because
watch preseason.
the Bills
I never
are
watch
gonna have to
preseason.
report this. Yes, they won 29-14.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You know,
Good to
back in
know.
the day when Marv Levy was coach, it was better if they lost every preseason game.
Why?
I don't know. It meant they do well in
Like
the year.
the B team and the C team and the D team.
Okay.
Let them see if they're worth their salt.
So it's like having a bad dress rehearsal because
Yeah.
then you have a good opening night.
Be more willing to solve the boys.
I don't want to stand on it.
So I think we've sorted out all the tech stuff. When I opened up the ability that we saw here to see some of the other faces, were they visible to you guys or just Joyce?
No, I saw them. Yeah.
So there was a row down at the bottom of four. Well, you can see them anyway. Well, I don't know, because if I put you on spotlight, which I think is how I have to do it. Let's see. No, it doesn't really give me spotlight. It gives me speaker view, and that allows you to do other things. Center stage. Let's see if that does it. Nope, that does not do it.
You're looking good though. You take a nice shot on.
Okay, so speaker view,
Yeah.
and then there's four down the middle,
Hmm.
and I will show you other people than yourself. And you can see that too. I don't know what the video is going to show. Anyway, Kathy McGoldrick received an MFA from the University of Buffalo during the wild days of its literary heyday, which I remember well. I was a grad student. She worked at Allegheny State Park as a crew leader for Jimmy Carter's Young Adult Conservation Corps, and then for a few decades in social work administration. She has been published in numerous magazines, and her poem Hope won the 2025 America 1 Year from Now award.
Thanks, Judy. I don't know if I'm showing up, but that's
Yes,
okay.
you are.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Not for me, but that's good because I don't like to see my big face. Um, this first poem is called Crypsis, and it's based on a photograph that was in the press last winter. I think you'll all recognize it when I start to read it. A photograph that came out of Minneapolis. And crypsis is an ecological term for an animal or an organism's ability to hide, like a white hare in a white snow standing stock still. Okay, crypsis, Minneapolis, winter of 2026. Fixed fawn eye, a still, a side snap. Wool bunny hat ear flopped over his own, not moving a hair, his small hands against the salt spattered rear end of an ice beast, and the knuckled one of the hunter gripping the boy decoy school bag, bait. Maybe some innocent crusts of lunch left in that Spider-Man backpack, and who knows what crayon-drawn braveries that might still turn us heroes too. Um, this poem we revised um, today, and it's old. It's from the 2024 presidential election, but given the dying old white men in Congress and those that have been taxidermied apparently to um, stay on, I thought it was appropriate to read it again, so I will read it. Snow Whites. Like carbonating old limestone, several citadels of crooked old king men leak steroids into a water source, piss Viagra through their packages. They stand as best they can, waiting for new lungs and livers. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Which? A pretty middle-rich cat is casing your joint. Leotard, leopard, plump puma, cougar. Blessed be her expensive face, her perfect nose twitching. And the spirit squat Janes and mad redcaps and big bad boob hearts, swollen in hyperbole, are everywhere, mining for the man, mean participles of policy, singing above the picked-in nasty night folk songs about bad daddies. Lord help them when they finish only to find at their own doorsteps their own daughters' lungs and livers. Nothing is fair now.
Ooh.
This is a poem. Let me see what I have here. This is a poem, eclosion, which means the emergence of an insect from a pupa case or larva from an egg. This was published in Earth's Daughters, Joyce, a couple of volumes ago. I don't really
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Eclosion. When she spun her lightness of spirit about a round peg near a square screen, in the door set to slow close, it fluttered a little, then lilted quiet. Inside, her long spine took some strange turns, twisting from daughter into sister, wife, mother. She molted the girl fuzz that grew back black and woolly as a denned thing. And there she stayed. Let silence chew her, spun to face it, spun and wove herself into a space so as not to be even seen. And there she stayed, until a certain waft, perhaps of June, stirred the silence counterclockwise. A stiff old thread broke, the callus split, and thin and delicate she hung there, just remembering, until the door opened, and this time she flew. This is a longer poem that, let's see what I have here, that I think Judy wanted me to read last year, and I don't think I did because it was so long, but I'm going to read it this time. I hope I didn't. You'll have to hear it again if I did read it last year. I don't quite remember, but I don't think so. And it's a weird because I was in an old church on the border of Devon and Cornwall in England, on the southern coast of England. And I was in an old church, sort of looking at these stone monuments in the ground. And this like story just came into my head. It was kind of bizarre. So I wrote a poem about it. And it's called Jane. Jane, Devon, Cornwall, England, circa 1837. Jane sits watching, head turned. Through the thrown open window, the ravens chasing choughs over hilly combs folding down to Atlantic.
I'm going to read from here.
She sits in her regular spot, alone and well behind the pew where Mary used to sit, with her squirming pile of boys, topped with a huge male hand of hush. But Mary has been lost in the labor of the fourth child, her tiny daughter now squalling in the arms of another. The cheos of the choughs pierce the thrum of the vicar's eulogy. Jane hears mother, wife, finally the word friend. They were friends as friends go, the townsfolk know, but know nothing of her hand held in Mary's on the carefully timed walks up the rise, through wild rose bush and ferns, holding up their skirts and carrying buckets tinkling with rose hips. Nothing of the furtive lie-downs near blackberry bramble, nor of the last time, Mary's ankles so swollen they stopped short of joy to turn around. On the slow walk out, church members touch the husband's shoulder. Behind him, in the arms of a grandmother, the infant is squalling purple. Without even a wave, Jane leaves by the quiet side aisle to the house now empty of Mary. She will help prepare the spread, ham and pickle and bread, make tea, hold the children in turn until fatigue takes them. The world will go on. In the morning, the ravens will chase the choughs again over combs folding to Atlantic. If ever he thought why she offered to pay for Mary's internment, he doesn't say. He doesn't ask. He'll find a way to accommodate the gift, and eventually he will remarry, putting behind him the day the wind labored so jagged and rough the ravens could not chase the choughs. But Jane will hear that howl again. Wonder how a country this ancient and tamed could bear a wind so wild. She will watch the sailors tuck in from Atlantic, careful, the church tower their compass. She will stand before the ledger stone, polish it with her stocking feet, the smooth snail shell and whelk Winklestone marble etched. Mary H. of Harscott Highcliffe, friend, wife, and mother, and edged in a pattern of berry and bramble. What I have here. I have 12 poems called In These Times, and each one is a month. And I don't know why I didn't do August, because it is August, but this one is In These Times, March. Has an epigram from, is it epigram or epigraph? Which is it? Graham. Graham? Okay, thank you. Appalachian Elegy by Bell Hooks. Listen, little sister. Angels make their hope here in these hills. Spring flags are flying over the broken cradles, legless tables, deflated plastic Christmas angels piled around the places, pastel flags with half shells hatching cartoon chicks that wave in the wildling wind above mounds of meconium mud forced up between gushes of the let-go snow that warms finely in spotty pools with frog spawn from where finally full-grown frogs will come. And in the orchid dawn, under the calliope of first spring birds, browless, pendulous these women, humanity's first brigade, out in early shorts, round up the winter dog shit. I have here. Okay, this is a newer poem, but it's really written about a memory of my girls. It reminded me this spring trying to drive on our roads around here with sort of marshy places on both sides of the road. You have to dodge frogs and toads. So this is called Toads in the Road. My little girl's popping, there's one, in the back seat, pointing to toads hopping across the wet pavement and frogs crossing toward home like we are. So Mario-like, car on zigzag, I attempt to avoid amphibians, to ensure the hereafter. Zygotes come pollywog to frog and toad, windows open, smelling the spray of rain on road, hearing the swell of small peepers from nearby creeks and ponds, and behind me, the warbling of daughters, this joy, my hope, spring.
Nice.
And the last one I have here is In These Times, July, which is a few years old, but it's one of the In These Times poems. In these times, July. With each brood in the outdoor grill, the wrens raise their nest higher. Successively, they slip out of the grill vents into claggy morning and sing, sing, sing. The kindling goes unused. The charcoal gets damp. Tiny mother, egg by pinky brown egg, saving the world. I am reading that whales are warning that the ocean is warming. They surround boats. They nudge them. Here, this back end of July, we have rain, dropsy of globular sun, and rain again, although elsewhere much of the old world burns. On my deck over dinner, I put on my readers, scan yet another EIS on effluent that arteries carry the Cattaraugus Creek to Lake Erie. When remarkably quiet she comes for such a big thing, broad nose pointing upward, nostrils wide, sniffing at my dinner, plodding the bottom of the wooden steps. When I talk to her, she looks at me, languidly turns, her glossy black bare rump disappearing up the second growth hill behind the house, full fat on. Alligators are not so nice now, I read. At hot lakes in Florida, they eat old ladies. Thank you. Thanks for Judy for putting this together. This has been fun.
All right. Let me get the gallery back.
Do you want to read?
Okay.
Or
And our last but not, yes, I do have, my mic is on. Okay. Our last but not least reader is Nancy Takacs, whose latest book is Dearest Water from Mayapple Press 2022. And she has a new book, A Whispering Beetle, forthcoming from Broadstone Books in 2026. They did my last. Great press. Nancy is the recipient of the Juniper Prize, Pushcart Prize, the actual prize, not just the nomination.
yes,
Yeah, that actually means something. The Sherwin Howard Award and the Nation Discovery Award. I did not know that, Nancy. That's really impressive stuff. She lives in Utah and Wisconsin, depending on the time of year, with her husband, Jan Minich, who also has a Mayapple Press book, 2 puppies, and a turtle.
Her husband has 2 puppies and gerbil.
No.
Turtle.
Turtle. Okay, so you have now the speaker view. There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you, Judy, and thanks for your patience in putting all of us together. Quite a feat after a broken ankle and rehab and everything. Thank you so much. I'm going to read some animal and then people poems. I'm going to start off with a poem called Oh Snake. I'm up here in Wisconsin, and right on my path there was a snake eating a toad all day. Oh, snake, with a toad in your mouth, a toad way too big for you, a toad you must bloody and numb. Tomorrow you'll shed your green skin. You're on my stone path right out in the open. I can touch your gold stripe. I can see how vulnerable you are as you crush and swallow. He is not drawn in easily. Twice he escapes, punctured and slathered. I see how you let him come to his senses. You are the queen of dusk who disappears in my lavender, pink foam on your lips. Oh, snake, I am your silent partner. And here's an ant poem. I read about these ants called repletes. And so the description at the top, and this is for a friend of mine, says the repletes are one of many storage ants who gather nectar, holds it in a place in their abdomen, hung from the nest ceiling, waiting for the moment when food supply is low, regurgitating the honey for the others. Replete. She loves spring. She swells with use, is luxuriantly codependent. She'll never leave, though dreams of the Pearl River, a Kerry pub, an incandescent motel in Shoshone Falls. Her body is see-through and golden as Sleeping Beauty's first word. Wild pansy, sweet olive live inside her. How can she suspend herself forever, a good friend asks. And won't she need counseling when she's done? What does she think will happen to her blown body afterwards? What apple has she sucked? We've been getting some smokiness this summer from both Minnesota and Canadian wildfires. It also happened last summer. And it was quite dense, the smoke that we had. August, Lake Superior. August used to be the scent of peppermint going wild in the blue hydrangeas. Now it's heavy smoke from fires in the north. One copper bird sings like a flag waving to gray scribbles in the sky. A garter snake raises its head from under the hood of my car. Once loud yellows, brown-eyed Susans, and marigolds barely speak. Toads still plink and bleat under the itchy moon. This poem is called Lemon. Lemon is talking, and this is one that we workshopped today. So thanks for your help, you guys. Lemon, set me on your nightstand and you will have erotic dreams. I can banish your worries, rattle your tongue, make you blush and grimace. I love how my bitterness ekes out a juicy kiss, can jolt a god, a goddess. Some even worship me. I was bred from an ancient crossing between two zesty fruits, at first to ward away flies. Now I'm yoga without a pose. My scent is a pristine beach. You can't imagine salmon without me. Then again, if life gives you the downside of me, blend me with mercy and vodka. My mom, I grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey, so I'm really an East Coast gal. Um, and uh, my mom, we lived in kind of row houses, and we lived downstairs from my grandparents, and she loved animals because she grew up in a farm in Pennsylvania, but we weren't allowed to have any, except, I'll tell you this, the parakeets. My mother decides we need a bird, the only pet we're allowed to have downstairs in my grandparents' house. At Woolworth's cages, she lets me and my brother pick out our favorite. The bird is pale blue, quiet. We name her Fido. 2 weeks later, she opens the window to reel in our clothes, and Fido flies out fast towards Newark Bay. The next bird, St. Francis, lands on the hot rim of the spaghetti pot. My mother spreads Vaseline on his feet. We find him the next day in his cage, beak open, eyes shut, oily feathered. We say 2 Hail Marys over him, bury him under the azaleas. Mornings at the table, before she leaves for her job sewing piecework, my mother plays with our violet bird. He perches on her finger as she feeds him scrambled eggs. She teaches us how to make him feel safe in our hands, rub his gold ears with our thumbs. We teach him to say his name. He drives us crazy, saying, pretty boy, obsessed with his mirror, pecking his bells while we want to watch TV. After a year, he too flies away, perches on our streetlight. We go out with the broom and she lifts it as far as she can. We call to him, pretty boy, pretty boy. We really think he will fly down to her, that she has the power. And this is a poem called Sun. Into the iron pan, I place the salmon seasoned by my hands, sprinkling enough coriander so that he might be taken back to some Polish reign, a great-grandfather there he never met. I add bits of sea salt with lavender so that his tongue might question, enough lemon so that he will not complain. He will eat alone, or he might share the pink center with his bold cat who lives here too now. He will eat with a fork, as well as his fingers. He will eat the crisp skin of the fish. When he's done, his dish will look like an October field scraped by wind, scattered with rose leaves. And this poem is kind of for my husband. I wrote this, it's an older poem, um, when we lived on the farm, his mom's farm. July, the old house and birds. It's a sad night because you're listening on top of the pickup to the birds. There's no help for you out there, your body getting warm from the engine that was just shut off. I can't tell you what to do. I can only look at the ivy going wild from all the new sun. Maybe you're all right just sitting there looking at the old barn. Maybe you don't feel as sad now listening. It might be good to let night close around you with fireflies, chamomile, all summer never losing its smell. And you'll wait listening to the birds that sing for some reason out there among the ripening blackberries, the bordering black willows that are dumb in this dead heat of summer. This one is the title poem for my book, A Whispering Beetle, the one that's going to come out. I am like this beetle, tentative and a little blue. Or is that the reflection of sky on her back? Or is it the reflection of my cup as she crawls towards my warm hand? I sit in the frayed lawn chair before today's winds that are supposed to rip up trees and roofs. She paces from my hand to my shoulder so easily, whispering in my ear, "Take better care of yourself." And I feel the first breeze before the storm comes. I feel her antennae caressing my cheek, this, the second day of spring, though already I'm worrying the apple tree will freeze. And she says, "Hush, the blossoms will come. But please carry me back on your palm and place me under the juniper tree where my sisters and I live, gently, gently." Couple more poems. Um, over the past 3 or 4 years, I started to dye silk scarves with plants and flowers. And so I've been having a lot of fun with that. And so this one is called Tangled Garden. I'm dyeing a silk scarf with a friend's last flowers. We gathered them in her well-kept garden. Morning glories, heliotropes, red roses, marigolds, gold chrysanthemums that had frozen and hung their heads. I layer on my own ornamental grapes and spongy crab apples, serrated maple leaves, fall still full of color and scent. And the times I felt voiceless in Catholic school, home. I couldn't disagree. My mother, the only one I could tell my opinions to. Sometimes she said I wasn't wrong. She loved flowers, but could only grow African violets, tending them to bloom on her bedroom sill. She tended some things well. Her friends all claimed she wore a halo. She's long gone, but I smell the scarred peels of crab apples I taught her to make jelly from. We crushed them after they boiled, sat outside while they drained pink juice through sterile cloth. We smelled of apples. I decide to make half halos on the scarf, fold it over evenly so they'll double in design, become circles when open, though fragmented edges of petals turn them into half crowns. I think of Jesus and the saints, how painters rendered them luminescent even when dying. My silks steam for an hour, fresh petals I've tightly wound on dowels in bundles. When I loosen them, there is the tea scent of marigold and rose and mum before I let all those bright wet petals fall into my garden. The silk is stained with subtle colors in the pattern, green and lemon and lavender, that made true mirrors, whole crowns, a bit blurred, but beneath them, my own clear language, engraved shadows of blossom, leaf, seed, and spine. I'm sure that you have bears around there in the springtime, and around here too, they're always looking for food, so we see a lot of them in the spring especially. The bear in spring is talking here. Talk to me in the language of raspberry blossoms, their whiteness, water falling on your hill. I feel the promise of sweet red in my throat, my belly. Give me your feeder after the grackles have fled, the compost bin with apple cores, pasta fragrant with strong garlic. We must be fed. Offer me the bed under your porch with its quilt bitten into lace by squirrels. Leave honey jars open for my cub. Listen to me talk about the cracking woods, new roads already going in. Let me unlock your screen door. Let me open your cupboard for the bread. And going to end with this poem, which is kind of a weird poem. It's called Pieces in a Whole Mirror. There is a tunnel and a bridge. What animals show, what is missing is how to love ourselves. There is still watercress and fennel in the left drawer. A woman canters a palomino wearing her conscious belt. Kindness can become fallible. Blue violet, yellow violet, the scents of elephants, the grace of snakes. There will be more roads, moons, and pines. The turtle in your forest has no footpath. Love spares no one. A sliver of rosehip on the silver highway. You are good for me. Thank you. Thanks.
Well, tomorrow is my play, and Monday is the last reading, and that is Rachel and Steve and me. And hope you'll Zoom in. That's the library's Zoom. The synagogue Zoom is on their website. If anybody wants it, email me and I'll send it to you. That's at 3:00, and the reading on Monday is at 4:00. And I was at the rehearsal. It's fun watching a new cast take it on there. And for the first time, we have a 14-year-old girl playing a 14-year-old girl, and she's good. They're not professional actors, but they're in there tackling it.
Judy, did you send the link for the Monday reading, or is that on the library website?
It's on the library website, and it's the same as the Thursday one if you had that.
The same as the Thursday one. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's on I'm pretty sure, but it's definitely on the library website in that spread that I sent you guys.
Shannon, where are you?
I'm home.
Oh, you're in Bethlehem.
I'm in Bethlehem. Yep. Where is Wendy not? Has anybody talked to Wendy? I meant to reach out to her this week.
Anybody talk?
Penny knows.
Joyce, unmute yourself.
She was in Arkansas and went to a hospital about her husband.
She's on her way home
And she's on her way home.
right now, but they are going to have to go back there.
Mm.
Yeah, in about 2 weeks.
So he is. I don't know what's going on. Is he okay? Like,
They have to do something with his back.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be in Harrisburg tomorrow with my friend Ken, who was just diagnosed with lung cancer.
Oh.
Mm.
So we're going to try and watch the play together. So I'm going to drive there tomorrow and I'll see how he's feeling. But I'm so angry about healthcare in this country. He had a cough for a long time and they didn't do an x-ray and I think it was too late. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
But you're
Horrible.
still smoking.
we're getting older. I'm not. This is
Oh.
cigarettes anymore. I ended that. Yeah, years ago. I haven't smoked cigarettes for years. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll try and I want to see the play. Want to be at the reading. So.
Okay.
I don't
Helen,
know
are
who
you
dropped
good?
off. Did you turn your phone off?
Bob there too? Is Bob there?
Yeah, Bob's over here on the sofa.
Hi, Bob. I was looking at your cat perched so regally behind you.
I'm here.
Hi. Hi, Bob. I miss you. Hopefully we can get together next year.
Leslie's here too.
Hi, Leslie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Bob and Leslie and Steve is over there.
Hi,
Not
Steve.
through the screen. And Rachel, who's new, she's Helen's daughter-in-law and an interesting poet. So you'll find that out on Monday. She's an interesting poet.
She's
You're,
not new to us.
New to us, yes, not new to Helen. Why is this
I
thing?
knew her for a while.
Come on. I don't know why it's doing this. Oh, that's why. Come on. Okay.
It's good to see you all. You did a great job.
Yeah, good reading.
lovely.
Good reading.
Thank you.
I
Looking
just
forward to
managed
the
to
play
turn off that
tomorrow.
camera. That was the problem.
See you next
I'm
week.
looking forward to,
Okay.
yeah.
Kathy is reading in Geneva with Steve's Dove program.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
End of August.
30th.
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 Yeah.
It
Thanks.
says no audio. I know there's no audio. That's because I turned the audio off. So we wouldn't get an echo in here. Why is it not giving me the camera? Go on, start video. Do it. There we go. Too much tech.
Helen with her wine. I love it.
Too much tech.
Judy, how are
Yeah.
your readings going for your book? It's a wonderful book, by the way. You sent it to me.
Thank you.
Since you broke your ankle and everything, how are you handling the,
Well,
advertising of the book?
I haven't had very many readings, and the places that I expected when I asked them to send me a date haven't done it. That's in Saratoga and in New Paltz. I don't know why, but I'm not getting a response when I ask them for a date. So I read at the library last week, actually,
Oh,
and
good.
hopefully I'll get some other ones. I don't know. I just realized today that I should ask Bright Hill, but now that what's her name is not running it, Bright Hill, aren't you?
Oh, I know, Bertha.
Bertha. I don't know if they'll give me a reading of it.
No, she retires.
I know, but I don't know if the people who are running it now will give me a reading because I don't know
I
them.
still
They
get
don't know me.
messages asking for money.
Oh yeah, they're still asking for money. That's
Well, write Bertha and ask her how to.
You're right.
how
That's
to
what I should do.
contact.
I mean, I'm driving pretty well. I don't know how I feel about, an hour and a half up into the mountains on the windy roads.
Yeah.
I have to go see my doctor down in Wappingers Falls, which is almost an hour, but it's mostly throughway.
How did it go in Buffalo? Did you get a reading in Buffalo?
I have not heard back from Buffalo.
About 5 hours on the thruway west.
That's a question. I mean, my PR person tells me that Rochester is planning to invite me on some kind of named speaker series. Have not heard anything. I will follow up with them.
It's Rochester.
University of. I'm an undergraduate from the University of Rochester, and I give them money.
Well,
And I had the gall. It feels very uncomfortable to say, I'm not doing a quid pro quo here, but I would also like you to invite.
money unless I get a reading.
Well,
6 series.
Right.
Yeah.
that's not what they mentioned to her. They mentioned some other speaker series. And Buffalo, crickets at the moment. I have to be back. I get in touch with the Alumni Association. And I asked them to put me in touch with somebody, and it doesn't happen.
Really into the young people.
I don't know how much the university is actually doing. I haven't seen much. Have you, Joyce?
Joyce La.
Did she?
There was
Yeah,
a
I don't, anytime I look, I don't see the university doing much. It's mostly, I can't think of it. Another,
They're still just Buffalo series.
just Buffalo. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
And
You have to be famous.
what's her name? Our
You
friend.
have to be willing to just talk about your poetry and not read it.
What's her name? Our friend who used to come to Cloudburst. She has a series. What's the name of the person who came to Cloudburst all the time? You know who she is. You know who she is. And she has from Buffalo. She has a series. I have reached that point in my life
Was
when
it a diner? Was it-
words and names get stuck somewhere upstream. They don't
Yeah.
want to come loose.
The filing cabinet's too full.
Yeah, yeah. I really haven't worked at it very hard. And, what I got from the money I spent with the PR firm was the article in Writer's Digest, which is a visible place to be. I don't know if we'll do anything. Lovely, lovely review in a new magazine called the Alethian Review. And I think they want to interview me for Zoom. An interview with some people in Canada. Not a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
And another essay that I need to write, which I think is for Alethian Review, which I haven't done yet. That's who should be interested.
Okay,
But
maybe I can do something there.
I mean, they collect me. You would think,
You know,
Yeah.
they prefer to have James Joyce.
well, yeah. I don't remember who's running it anymore. It's not the same person.
James something.
And that's the same person that I knew.
No.
But I guess I'm just, now that this is over, what's been absorbing me greatly is this play, which, I've been workshopping and working on with my acting teacher, who is my dramaturg. You know what a dramaturg is? She didn't, I didn't. One of the things it is a person who kind of works with you on a script by saying to you, the voices need to be more differentiated, or what is that character thinking at this moment? Or there really needs to be more, connection between these two characters. And then I have to go into my imagination and figure that out. It's been really, really interesting.
Even on Sunday,
What?
try to get you in Buffalo on Saturday. It's a Sunday program we have.
Yeah, in Geneva. Well, if I could get Rochester, Geneva, and Buffalo in one round, that would be a trip worth making. And it's not worth taking the plane, because if I drive up to Albany and wait for a plane, I might as well be on the road.
Take the bus, take the train.
Take the train. Well, yeah.
Yes.
Take the train.
Does the train go from Rochester to Buffalo? It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I could do that. I couldn't do Geneva on that, but I could certainly, unless somebody picked me up.
Mhm.
Geneva's on the north end of the lakes,
I
right?
know where it is.
I'm asking you because I don't
can get
remember.
off there, yeah. I think so.
Or I could rent a car.
I would come get you.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like something worth kind of pushing on a bit.
Dove is really a nice series, though.
I mean, it's not going to
A
be,
lot of people.
it won't be
actually-
till next year because everybody plans ahead. But, next,
I'm planning next year.
yeah, everybody's planning next year.
I think you plan on this one next year.
I plan to be alive next year. I to still be driving next year. So, but let me tell you, this play is a kick. It really is a kick. I didn't know I could do that. And people, it was given a reading in New York, which is a little bit competitive. You have to be in this program, this online workshop that I'm in, and then you have to submit it, and they may or may not put you on. I think they did 9 plays, 3 different afternoons. And an earlier version of the play, which is shorter and not as well fleshed out, was given a reading, and people were amazed that it was my first play. And other people were amazed that I'm 80 and it's my first play. Yeah, well, I'm always doing new stuff.
Love it.
Can you hand me the Orange Menace? I started crocheting
She was gonna show you.
in a serious way.
Uh-oh, here comes the kitty.
Amigurumi, which are it's the Japanese word for little cute dolls.
Oh, that's so cool. You want
You know
it?
who this is, right?
Mhm.
And everybody asks me if I'm going to provide a box of pins. And yes, he's going to be on my sales table. And in November or December, I have a sales table at one of the libraries. He will be available with a box of pins. I've actually made another one who's not quite finished, but this one has his
Yeah.
diaper
Cat wants
The
it.
other one doesn't have the
Get in,
face.
get in,
Yeah,
get in.
lots of, owls, and I've done several penguins and
Owls and pussycats.
lots of penguins, a couple of pussycats, a dog.
Yeah.
The penguin.
Trudy, your hair looks a lot better than his does.
Penguin.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, my hair is, people
got it
always ask me
big.
if my,
He got
what?
it.
Oh, there's the.
It's
No, this is-
crochet. Oh, they're holding up they're showing you, yes.
Oh, all of the.
Octopus.
This dog is really cute. too.
Yeah, that was commissioned. That somebody wanted a dog that looked like her black Pomeranian. And that little cat was commissioned, the little red cat. When I was in rehab, I was doing some of these, and I gave some of them to, nurses and aides who were particularly nice to me, women, because I didn't think the guy was going to be interested. So
I gotta be fed.
people who were not directly enough involved in my care that I would give it to them asked me if I would make one for them. And $25, which is about, at $25 they will fly off my sales table, and I like making them. And they don't take an impossible, particularly the little owls don't take a huge amount of time, and I really like making them. So
I love it.
I have a friend who taught me to crochet about 10 years ago, and I didn't do much with it, and she doesn't know about these, but I'm going to tell her you created a monster.
My grandma taught me how to crochet when I was little bitty.
Do you still do it?
I have, and I have a friend who's pregnant, and I was like, I should really crochet her a blanket because it's very soothing, actually. It's calming. The last one I did was a friend of mine, and her son is now 9, but I crocheted her a blanket, and I saw her. She's Dominican. She has a little Dominican. She just opened a Dominican bakery in like a neighborhood. It's so good. And she said he still uses that blanket because I made a kind of bigger one. And I should probably do that. But yeah, I used to just sit here and like watch TV and do it. It's very calming, actually. We need a
exactly.
Need
I got
a
all my yarn right here. And, I've been a knitter for years.
Yeah, I don't know how to knit.
This is a little more interesting to me than crochet. In fact, when I was in the rehab place, this is for carrying my phone around when I'm riding my wheelchair and don't have my handbag or anything or a pocket.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a very practical sort of skill.
I'm knitting a blanket that has pieces, and these are some of the pieces.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
I love them. That's
So
great.
there's all little different designs that go along with
Yeah.
it.
It's intarsia knitting, right?
It's just
Intarsia knitting.
I don't know what it's called, but it's you're just following a pattern basically. Yeah.
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 Well, I've never liked following patterns or recipes either.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I did, this little white cat, no, the little white cat was from a pattern, although his vest and so on are not. And I steal things like the wings on the owl are from somebody's pattern. Oh, hold up the cardinal. That's my most recent. That's the only thing realistic that I've done. Yeah, he kind of looks like a cardinal. And the shaping of the body, I was following somebody's thing for doing cockatiels and stuff. And then I just kind of went off on my own. Once I sort of understand how that works, I go off on my own and do my own designs.
Well, what do they call that thing? It was a spool, wooden thread spool, and you put nails in the top.
Horse reins.
What is it?
We used to call it horse reins. That is a crochet.
I've done that years and years ago.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it. It's a good way to do, like a cable kind of thing. Yeah. I was actually, thanks for reminding me, because I was actually reading instructions for how to do, it's called an I-cord. And I think doing it on a spool like that would be easier than doing it as a real crochet. But
I remember doing the I-cord things years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very nice thing. I'm glad I learned how to do it. And, after 10 years, I kept looking at these kits in Joann's before Joann's went under. And there were little kits for these little animals. And I thought, I don't want to buy a kit. I've got crochet hooks somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and there's endless information on YouTube, just
Oh, yeah.
endless.
Videos. How's Bob doing?
How are you doing, Bob?
Bob, how are you
Doing,
doing?
Bob?
Hi,
Hi.
fairly well. I don't know whether you knew that I lost marrow, which is not good, but I'm working my way out of it.
Okay.
And he moved back to Cleveland.
He moved
So
back
he's
to Cleveland. Okay.
Back to Cleveland. Yeah, my son's there. There are old friends there
Good.
and good orchestra, good music scene.
Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of stuff to do.
Library, yeah. Baseball team is sometimes good.
Didn't you teach there for a long time?
A long time,
A
yeah.
long time. Yeah.
Taught there for 40 years.
Well,
Wow.
should have met a few people in that time.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that's the old crowd. When you started coming to this retreat, you were still in Cleveland, weren't you? Or in the suburbs? You were out in the suburbs.
Still working when I started. I
Yeah, right.
retired in 2006.
Well,
Bob, did you hear anything about that data center going in? Is it in Cleveland in Ohio? It shows it on the map, but I couldn't tell where it was going to be that, for AI, they're building a big data center.
Oh, those,
I don't know.
I heard they're monstrosities.
They are.
I think
Well, the biggest one on the planet is going to be in Utah, in Salt Lake City,
Really?
believe it or not.
they
Yep.
are going to do it.
The Mormons let
Yep.
them do that?
You don't have enough
Mike
water.
Lee. Oh, no, I know. Mike Lee, I don't know.
You don't have enough water for what's going on now.
No,
I
don't.
Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous.
We
They're
don't
not
have,
going
we don't have enough water. Yeah. Leslie, do
Or
you
you-
have a girlfriend? Did you hear me?
What?
Does Leslie still have his girlfriend?
No,
No.
no, she left me a couple of months ago.
Oh no. Are you okay?
No, not really. Getting better.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a nasty
You're
shot.
starting to hear he's getting better?
No, I'm sorry to hear that he's not doing well.
Yeah, I only had 5 good years and then bang.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
Well, you
Sorry.
should have asked her to marry you.
Ha ha.
I told her I was willing.
Did you? I didn't know that.
Ugh, Lord.
I wish all you guys could come out to dinner with us. This is fun. Just-
I know. I wish I was there.
Well, I'm hoping
Yes.
next
Yeah.
year. I'm hoping
We
next
don't know
year.
where
Next
there it
year,
is.
I'm hoping we're there. Yeah, this year I've had a very rough couple of weeks with bad news. The vagaries of getting older, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It gets to be like that. But it does get to be like that.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear from the islands, Patricia or?
I talked to Patricia a couple weeks ago.
And
Oh,
what
I
was the
talked to
weather like?
Rosalind. Yeah, I talked to
Yes,
Rosalind.
I talked to Rosalind not too long ago too, actually.
Yeah.
Boy, her stained glass work or leaded glass work is really beautiful.
I know, isn't it beautiful? Yeah.
She's gotten very serious about that.
She's trying to go to graduate school. She's applying. I need to write her a letter tomorrow, or Monday. She's applying to UNC Greensboro, which I have a friend that teaches part-time there. And she's trying
What is she gonna go in?
trying to get her master's in, I think she's trying to go for writing, like creative writing. And
Well, she could ask me. I mean, I'm a professor emerita
her
of English with books.
trying to get off the island. Her husband quit his job teaching because we all are trying to get out, and is doing something else. And I don't think that their marriage is very good right now. So we've talked a little bit about that. But she's trying to spend more time with her kids and her grandkids, and and be off the island and let them have space, I think is what her plan is. So, but she
And
sounds,
when you write her, tell her I said hi.
I will.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to figure it out. Everything is crazy right now. I think everybody's trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah. I'm thinking I haven't been able to rent my apartment. I had a guy in there for 15 months through the home
Right.
share program. And then when he moved, I've had a very few applicants and they, for various reasons, didn't decide to rent it. And I don't know whether to put it on the market with the regular retail rental universe, which I could do.
Yeah.
And then I have to do my own vetting of people. And I'm at the same time kind of thinking about moving down to a community in New Paltz, which is close enough to still retain connections here. But it's a adult senior living from independent living on to the end of life kind of stuff. Very, very nice facility. Or like move to Canada and get the hell out of this crazy country,
Yeah.
which occurs to me sometimes too.
Hey, a
Yeah.
lot of people are moving to Canada.
Or Mexico. I mean, my Spanish is
Ireland.
good enough.
A lot of people are moving to Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have 2.5 years. I
There
met
you
with
go.
my retirement person. I can get out in 2.5 years. They're trying to get rid of our history program, which
Well, they try to get rid of you because you're the highest paid.
I am.
wanna
I'm one of the
hire
highest
you
paid. They're,
for cheap.
it's just, it was the same as last year. We have a provost who was a theater professor, which there's nothing wrong with her being a theater professor, but she's not a provost. So we keep saying like we're living in our university is a mini Trump land. Like everybody's in these administrative positions that are unqualified to be in those positions. So the university is not doing well and we're all suffering. So
Now you're in the state system of higher education in
I'm in the
Pennsylvania, right?
state system. So I have 2.5 years and I can take my pension and my health care. So
Wow.
Good. Whoopee.
I have to stick it out. So my partner's like, a pension? What's that? Because he's gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm
That
like,
is
well,
what you live on.
yeah. And I'm like, look, he's a little bit older than me, but I'm like, you know, I'm gonna stick it out. They're making it hard, but I'm gonna do it. So
Well, 2 years, absolutely you want to stick it out.
Absolutely. You can do
That's
that.
easy.
that's
Damn.
nothing. No. But I'm teaching. I haven't taught online since COVID, and they have me teaching an online class.
Oh, God.
They got rid of my graduate program. We're going into moratorium. I just wrote a very long letter to the chancellor. It was well received, but it's just, it's stressful. I'm meeting with my union rep Monday morning because I didn't get paid for the work that I did last academic year. So I'm filing 2 grievances against the pro.
You didn't get paid
No.
for any of your academic work
I
or
didn't
something?
get paid. I get paid separate for being the graduate coordinator of my program, but because I think she feels because we've moved it into moratorium, I'm not doing the same amount of work, which is absolutely not true. I'm probably doing more because they've asked me to do some other stuff and I didn't get paid. And it's not a lot, it's not inconsequential, but it's you know,
Yeah.
so now I have
Well,
to.
you guys are in the same union that Edinburgh was,
Right,
and
we're in
it
that union.
was a
Yep.
tough union. That was a very tough
And
union. They
yeah,
really
it's tough.
fought.
Well, so Ken, my friend he's the president of our state union. He taught it. He's a professor at ESU, but he's the president. We're in negotiations right now and for a new contract. And he just found this out 2 weeks ago. So, and I think you probably know, Joyce knows, we used to date and then but we're still really close friends. So it's been a really rough couple weeks. Aside from that,
Nancy.
one of my brothers in prison,
Oh, no.
in Harrisburg. So, but we'll figure it out. I just, I don't want to be confrontational, but like, pay me for my work. And the provost is such a horrible human being. Like, I can't even explain to you. It's just been so bad. Like I said, when I first met with I was literally wearing a heart monitor in January because I couldn't figure out what was going on with my heart. It's stress,
Mm.
stress. So like, I got to get out because I don't want to die because of this. It's stupid.
Is this a garage?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, that's left over from a cat toy. It's
Oh, I thought you
it's
were
a
talking about
remnant
my
that I really ought to throw out.
Folks, I've got to
Well,
go. So
All
good
right,
to
night,
see you all.
Nancy, are you still teaching?
Wait a minute. She has to unmute, and
What's that?
I need to.
I just wondered if you were still teaching, or did you retire?
Oh, I've retired a long time ago. I took
Oh.
early retirement.